Folks, I hope you're all doing well today. So, news has recently come across. Excuse me, it is an allergy day. News has come across that Shane and Ryland, also legally known as Ryan, as we discovered in their wedding video, that they got married, right? So I wanted to look into what their relationship is going to, what it's going to look like now that they are married. I want to look at the lifetime of their marriage. What is that going to look like? Is it going to be until death do us part, or what is going to happen in the future to end a relationship, their relationship, if it is not until death do us part? So around here we shuffle until Spirit tells us to stop. Okay, so I'm going to lay them out from here and let's see what happens. Okay, folks, let's get into the heart of the matter right away. I can see that this new marriage is going to be a burden for both Shane and Ryland until they break up. This is not a death until death do us part type of relationship at all. This is going to be something where at a certain point the marriage is going to get really difficult because these are not two men that are compatible with each other, ultimately. I feel like Ryland needs a much more gentle, much more sincere individual, and Shane is not that person. Here's the thing. This is going to be a burden that they carry throughout the entirety of the marriage. That's literally what it's saying right here, but it's also saying that we, the audience, are going to see this playing out for the duration of their marriage because they're going to be putting it out there publicly. They need to make money. And I'm probably going to see the money card pop. There it is. Oh, it's popping up at the beginning. So, folks, it feels like they don't want us to know that they're getting married because they're trying to get some more views back in their corner. They're losing money, it looks like. They don't want the public to know that necessarily. Yeah, this is about getting your money from social media, quite literally. And that's like moving quickly. They're quick to cover this shit up. What they've done here is open themselves up to cycles that they have encountered in previous relationships. They've done this to each other before in their own relationship, and now this marriage, it's a new start, and technically in a sense, but at the same time they're just repeating the same things over and over, and in some cases they may be unlocking, like, well, you know what this is being locked in, not unlocking and freeing. It's getting locked in. And I gotta note, like, the stork is just across the way over here. They're going to learn very quickly that nothing is different. Everything is the same. The wedding didn't change anything. Getting married, saying some vows, maybe even having a party doesn't change anything. Yeah, because these are emotionally immature men who are getting married. Both Shane and Ryland, Ryan, I keep saying, these are both emotionally immature men, very much so. Okay, so right away I notice that Shane has a complete 9-card spread, which doesn't surprise me at all. Ryland is down over here, and I know that says technically man, woman, but the creator of this particular Lenormand deck did not want us to think of gender when it came to these two cards for reading specifically like this. This says anima. This is the feminine aspect that is inside everybody. Here is animus, which is the masculine aspect, which is inside of everybody. And again, it's not so much about gender as it is about overarching archetypes. Okay, so something I noticed right away is that we can't make a complete 9-card spread with Ryland. He is closer, it's like he's going to be the last person to give up on this. Shane is going to give up sooner, possibly because I see some really awful shit around here. Let's get into Shane, and then we'll get into Ryland, okay? But right away, what I can see around Shane going into the future, okay? This is what is starting off their relationship, starting off their marriage. It's a horrible way to start off their marriage. Right here, I see him going through some really destructive stuff. Let's see. Yep. So he's not, there's some kind of confusion about something. Either he doesn't want to know about this, he doesn't want to know about the worst aspects of himself, so he doesn't go digging into that. And so when he doesn't do shadow work, literally, into himself, it destroys him. And I see that he's going to become an abusive person. He's going to choose to become an abusive person. Allegedly, entertainment purposes only, maybe. I would love to be proven wrong. That's something that I say on these readings that tell a bad story, is I like to be proven wrong. If he makes better choices, kudos to him, but I don't feel like he is. I feel like he just kind of goes with the flow. He's just kind of a dead fish floating downstream. I see him becoming a destructive, abusive individual. Ryland might have to take shelter with some friends at some points when Shane gets too bent out of shape. Shane's going to be a lot more like his dad than he ever wanted to be. And he's going to choose this. I see this right away. Shane is going to be why this marriage fails. Is that a surprise? You know, when I was looking at their wedding video and I was watching Shane and Ryan walk out of the courthouse, it looked like Shane was just really deflated looking, like defeated looking. Like this is something like that he gave in to, like finally, because Ryan had been asking for so long. It's been like 7 years, dude. That's a better part of a decade. So there's a lot of pressure on Shane to be this kind of person. And it's no surprise to me that he's going to be part of why this blows up in both of their faces. Very destructive individual. There's something that he's going to do, Shane. There's something that he's going to do to the family. Specifically, if Ryan and Shane have kids, and it sounds like that they are going to have kids. Spirit is indicating that they are going to have kids. There's something unforgivable that he's going to do to these kids, and it's going to create a world of difficulty for the whole family. I know y'all can see that. He's going to do something to the kids. Spirit saying that he's going to sexually abuse the kids, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. Please prove me wrong. Please prove me wrong. I'd love to be proven wrong, okay? In this case, let's save the kids. Good God. What a destructive individual. Okay, yeah, I see that how he's going to, again, he does this over and over. You know, I watched a tarot reading done by another psychic on this YouTube channel who I admire a great deal. She talked about Shane continuing to do what he's always done, but it's going to be under wraps. After the whole Jeffree Star palette scandal blow up and everybody left him after, a whole lot of people left Shane and Jeffree after all of that. It's like Shane put things under a heavy blanket, but changed nothing. And this is the deception, right? That's the people are going to see this, but maybe not immediately. Choose destruction, basically. Yeah, abuse, gonna be lying to people about how he's a horrible dad. I see, oh good grief, it's the snake. Yeah, lies on lies, what he shows on the camera. There's horrible things going on behind the scenes. These people should not be together. These people should not be a family. Shane is leeching off of Ryland, but at the same time, Ryland is attracted to this shit. Shane and Ryland both have shadow work to do within themselves if they're going to keep this stuff from happening in the future. I will pray in that direction. I hope that if you believe in a deity, I hope that you pray in that direction too. Kids don't deserve to get hurt. I would love to not see this come. I would love to see this not come true, dude. So that was like past, present, and future, or I should say, going into the future, there's going to be a moment where he's going to be like the crux of all the abuse here. Ryland, I see, chooses to stay in this particular abuse because he says this is love, this is family, for instance. Going back to Shane's 9-card spread, I'm seeing that the public is going to put an end to this. They're going to see through the deceptions here. And it looks like there are going to be some genuinely good liars in the audience who say, that's a lie right there. It's kind of like pots and kettles saying, I know what a black pot and kettle looks like because I'm the same thing. It's kind of that kind of vibe. There are going to be some good liars in the audience who say, Shane is lying, and that's kind of where things start to fall apart. The public destroys this. They start to make a cascade effect. Shane is stuck in his lies. That's past, present, and the future. It's part of why his marriage is such a huge burden. He's going to be lying to Ryland about what's going on behind the scenes. Ryland is way too trusting now and will be way too trusting in the future because he wants to believe the best of Sean. And in that kind of case, it's his own kind of abuse on the kids. I had to get my kitty cat out of some stuff that she shouldn't have been into, so I've kind of lost my track. I've just been thinking about how awful all of this is, how destructive. There's no reason these people need to be on camera. This would have already been a really dysfunctional dynamic if they weren't on camera, but because they are, it's amplified. Shane is stuck in the same mindset that he was when he first became famous, and I hear that that's like a problem for a lot of folks. Excuse me, that's my napkin. I understand that that's a problem for a lot of people, who become famous. They stay stuck there unless they do some really hard psychological work, and those are rare people. Shane is not one of those rare people, and neither is Ryland, I gotta say. I see that Ryland is going to be going through a lot of difficulties when it comes to the risk that he took with Shane. And that's the thing, is this was always I can't emphasize enough how these people should not have been together. Not for this long. They should have broken up 2-3 years ago. But Ryland associates love with abuse. He chooses this, unfortunately, and it looks like he's going to choose to assist with the deception to a point. It might be that he uncovers this too. He helps uncover the destruction. Yes, look at that. Ryland is landing on the sun. This is someone who exposes this. So for a while, Ryland is going to go along with this, but there is going to be a breaking point, I suspect, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. I hope that he does, but it's also going to be a little bit too late just because the damage is already going to be done on the kids. It's going to be this is going to be like a last resort revealing this because Shane won't listen. It's like Ryland will attempt to stop Shane from doing stuff. And then when that doesn't work, Ryland's going to come out to the public and say, what you've been seeing from the outside, right here, what you've been seeing from the outside is true. This has been here for a while, which the public will see because these aren't they're so obsessed with being in front of the camera that they're not always aware of what they're showing. They want to show the whole forest, and then they don't realize that there's some trees in that forest that they might not want to show. They're so I hope I'm making sense. I really do. They're so excited about being famous that they don't care so much about what they show to the camera until it matters. But I see Ryland choosing this, choosing risk. He takes risks. Ryland is someone who takes risks with love. Risk rewards, it's like he likes that toxic love. It feels good to him, but he can't be honest about it either. Heart lands on heart. There might be some good things in the future. There might be some emotional revelations about stardom that Ryland has. Ryland might go on to find true love, because look, that's the heart landing on the heart. So guest Tifa is here looking at the heart on the heart with us. I feel like this is more to do with choices that Ryland makes in the future after this is all said and done. Towards the divorce, Ryland is going to choose love. I'm hoping that this is a more mature version of this. Yeah, I'm seeing like his fame, or at least Shane's, it's appearing in Shane's row, honestly. Shane's fame is going to increase, partly because of his lies. I should say his infamy, his notoriety is going to increase because of his lies. Shane's been on now since early YouTube days, right? He was one of the OG YouTubers, and he's still here. So by the time this is all done, we're going to have like almost decades of film footage from a variety of different contexts that Shane appears consistently in, and that's something that appears consistently. Look at this. Consistent lies, and it's going to move. His fame is going to move forward more quickly in the future because of the stories that he told. The burden that he put on Ryland, the burden that he put on kids. Yep. What did I say? That's a divorce right there. House, coffin, there's going to be a divorce. And Shane's going to become more notorious because of it. Yeah. This is going to be difficult. This is going to be difficult for Ryland. This is going to be difficult for the kids involved. But it's interesting how, like, the kids don't really show up here. I suspect because I just asked about their marriage and not explicitly about their kids, that we're going to be focusing on Shane and Ryan's marriage. So I was so busy looking at the heart of the matter and Shane and Ryland that I didn't look at the cards of fate. I'm seeing drama creating a tremendous amount of conflict with a contract they have with a risky arrangement. So I'm going to say that that's YouTube. Yeah, so Shane is indelibly associated with YouTube. He will always be associated with YouTube. Even if he hops to another platform like Twitch, for instance, and he might do that in the future, actually, because YouTube doesn't want him anymore. We will always have like a social media contract, I have to say, that is going to keep him constantly being exposed for who he is. I don't know if I've looked at his birth chart before, because I don't know that I have like his date of birth, where he was born, that kind of thing. But it may be that just a constant conflict with the public, but never being able to be unfamous, if that makes any sense, may be one of those things that Shane has to deal with. I saw that was something that Chris Chan will have to deal with for the rest of their life. Chris Chan was born to be famous, unfortunately. It shows up in their birth chart. They're always going to be at odds with the public and famous, and I think that might be Shane's story, both for better and for worse. And Shane chooses to be a shitty, awful person. He's going to make choices in the future that fuck up his fame, because he's that kind of individual. He's a very destructive individual. Yeah, I was just about to say destructive. That was mice underneath if I didn't show that to you folks. Yeah, very destructive individual. I wouldn't be around Shane for any amount of time. Do you know what I just put my hand on? That is the sexuality card. I'm seeing Shane being a deeply selfish individual and difficult and abusive in his demands. I'm just so, like, I'm already, like, I'm like, what, 20 minutes in, and I'm already, like, there is so much, like, shit, like, spiritual, like, manure around Shane. Yeah, I can, like, see right away that he is a selfish, sexually abusive individual. Ryland's attracted to that. What's underneath this? Yeah, what? So, what's underneath this particular card is woman. So that right there is Ryland. It might be that Shane really likes to humiliate his partners. Look at this. Selfish man. Look at this. This is a selfish man. Sexual difficulties right next to Ryland. Shane has issues with his bisexuality. Let me just say that and end with that. Shane needs to go see a serious sex therapist who can handle conversations to do with bisexuality specifically and questions to do with bisexuality. Because there's stuff here that Shane has not dealt with. He is bisexual, but there are issues underneath the surface when it comes to femininity and masculinity that he has not properly dealt with. Shane is a misogynist at the end of the day. And he's also misandrist, is that how you say it? He's also a misandrist at the same time. Shane loathes people. He loathes himself. Shane is a karmic male. Absolutely, he is a karmic male. We can see that right there. In a cycle of childish abuse together with Ryland. Ryland's going to continue to have difficulties when it comes to his fame, but Shane has far worse consequences headed his way. But Ryland's also going to be has karmic debt to pay off because for a long time he said, I love Shane, I'm committed. He will say, I love Shane, I'm committed to shame. Shane, I'm committed to Shane, therefore I'm going to stick this out right up until the point where he says, I can't stick this out anymore. There's the sun. He's going to expose a particular choices that Shane has made. What's freaky is that we're going back to this 9-card spread around sexuality. The public's going to be watching this unfold. They're going to be people like in the BDSM community who say, this is wrong, but I don't know how many people are going to be paying attention to those YouTubers who are saying what's going on between Shane and Ryland is not healthy sexually. This is not what sexually healthy partners do for each other, for instance. They're not what they do to each other, for God's sake, right? God. And this is where I think like Shane fucks up so badly with how he expresses his sexuality. He does stuff to people. He doesn't necessarily do stuff with people. He doesn't necessarily fulfill other people's cool sexual fantasies, healthy sexual fantasies. He just focuses on his own, and Ryland just says, I love you, and I'm going to sacrifice to that. Wow. And it's interesting because the sex runs into the cards of fate here. What's going on sexually with Shane, what the public is going to see is going to clash with what these social media platforms are going to want their creators to put out there. I saw with Little Simsy's reading and with a reading with Dark Side Phil, I saw that Twitch was going to head to more of a customer service attitude that you would associate with an Amazon worker, right? Because, of course, Amazon owns Twitch. I'm seeing that customer service attitude bleeding on over to other social media platforms when Twitch shows off how successfully they implemented it over years. I'm literally seeing Twitch try to implement this over a decade because they want to slowly roll it out. They understand that it's a culture shift, and they understand that it's going to take like a generation of Twitch streamers to really have that new culture sink in. A long way to say that new customer service attitude that social media platforms such as YouTube are going to want people like Shane to have, they're just like, it's going to absolutely clash. And I wonder if that isn't going to be the beginning of the end of Shane and Ryland's relationship, and also the beginning of the end for Shane in general. I'm looking at this row right here. There's a contract with some kind of, So it's kind of like a deal with the devil here. Shane may have not literally done black magic to do this, but all the karmic debt that he has accumulated for his sexual sins, if you will, and I kind of think of sins as a Christian thing and not necessarily as anything necessarily associated with another faith, right? But right here, this is something that he can't get away from. This is karmic debt that has accumulated, and now he just needs to pay the piper, but just needs. He will be paying the piper, and that end is going to be like a permanent end for Shane. As far as his fame, it's just going to repulse people so hard that he's going to put people off. More people are going to want to leave, and more people are going to not want to be associated with him. It's like YouTube is going to like completely demonetize Shane in the future, and then like ban him from monetizing again in the future. Like he is persona non grata around YouTube in the future. And that's the beginning. Like, it's like there's going to be a time period where like troubles come in threes or whatever. Like if something breaks, then expect two other things to break. It's going to be like that kind of situation with Shane. Like a lot of stuff is going to be going wrong for Shane. Like the piper's going to be asking for an $18,000 bill due like right this second, and Shane is not going to have the spiritual means to pay it, because it looks like he's been given enough rope to hang himself with, basically. So folks, I see Ryland being given a new chance in the future, but I also see like literally Shane's story ends with his 9-card spread. This is Ryland's beginning of a new story after his end with Shane, with the end of his marriage with Shane. These people are not going to be whole death to us part or anything like that. They are going to get divorced. 5 years into the future, maybe 7. They're not going to last too terribly long. They're going to stick things out, as you can see. I mean, Ryland's going to put up with Shane's bullshit for as long as he can, but after a certain point, Ryland's just going to give up and say, I'm ready to expose this. And the tea will be scalding hot. If you want to come at it from that direction, the tea will be probably too much for some. It'll be very, very highly caffeinated, steaming hot tea, okay? Folks, that was a shorter reading, but I wasn't expecting this kind of like spiritual manure just heaped all over the place around these people. Like, honest to God, I wasn't. This was a lot. I hope y'all have a good day. Take care.